I am team give Connor line mates and let them cook for a little while, but that's why I'm in this chair.
I think a lot of the Connor Bedard, I mean, I'm going to say it concerned. If you're worried about Connor Bedard, I think that's a little much.
He is still like the second youngest player in the NHL.
Right. And as I tell people, like, yeah, he's, 7-8 games now without a point.
He hasn't scored since the Four Nations.
So, like, he went through a streak like that earlier in the year and then got it going. He's a guy that up until last year has not dealt with not being the best player, not only on his team, in whatever league he's in, whatever tournament he's playing in. He's always been the best player. So now he's still dealing with not being the best player every night. And that's got to take a mental toll on a kid. And when his confidence is shook, it goes bad. But when he gets that swagger back, you're like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of these problems are going to go away when the kid gets a real coach at the NHL level for the first time. Like, you need a guy this is why the coaching hire is the most important thing this summer.
Agreed.
And this is why, as much as I think David Carl is a really good coach where he's at, and maybe one day he's going to be a great NHL coach, you have to bring in a guy here that has done it before with success so that he can go to Connor Bedard when he's having his little mopey moments on the bench and go, hey, kid, suck it up. It's okay. I like what you did here. Like somebody who has told Sidney Crosby or, Nikita Kucherov in Game 7s of Stanley Cup Finals what to do, and they listened and it worked. Somebody that's got that kind of credibility.
Yeah.
In here, a lot will change for Bedard when he has better talent around him and when he has a real NHL coach, a guy that's done it before. Anders Sorensen is a really good developmental coach. He's really good. He loves his practices.
Yeah.
He loves repetition until you get it right. That's not what you need for, like, he's fine in the interim, but Connor Bedard needs that real coach, that guy that has won at the NHL level, not once, but for a long time, that carries that respect and that knowledge, and knows what to do.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has been like, we're just going to let Connor Bedard go out and be Connor Bedard. He needs better coaching.
I want a coach that will, and this is going to come off wrong, but I want a coach that will stand up to him. Yeah. And if he's because we've heard a couple things. I know Seth said something about when he was interviewed in Florida about like, hey, here we've got 5 guys in the right spot all the time playing as a team. Pat Maroon kind of alluded to that too. Like, hey, some of the guys in this room could watch Ryan Donato and learn how to play the right way. I don't think that's 100% about Connor Bedard, but there are times out there where Bedard is doing his own thing, which is why you drafted him, because he's capable of doing that and he plays with the confidence to do it. But sometimes you got to just stick with the team game, especially when things are not going well. And just by playing in the system, playing north and south, you're going to find success because, yes, it's true, Connor Bedard doesn't have great line mates, but neither does Ryan Donato. Neither does Teuvo Teravainen. Neither does Frank Nazar. Neither does Craig Smith. But they're scoring. They're getting it done. They're getting the job done. So I think there's a little bit of, from the coaching standpoint, of, oh, we don't want to put too much pressure on him. We don't want to have expectations too high. And I feel like they're not coaching him the same way they're coaching the rest of the players.
Right.
And Bedard from day one has said, I just want to be another player. I don't want special treatment. I don't seek special treatment. I want to be a regular dude on this team. I just want to play hockey and play it well. And I feel like there's been a little bit of this kid gloves thing, which is why I kind of reacted the way I did to the super chat from, I forgot the name, B Unit Media, I think it was. The media is not putting pressure on Connor Bedard.
No.
They're not.
Definitely
if
not
anything,
the
Chicago beat, and I'm pointing the thumb at myself too, has done nothing but stand up for him when fans on social media and fans in the chat and people online have been like, this kid sucks. He's burned out. He wants out of Chicago. That's where the noise is coming from. The NHL is not. Maybe you could talk about Biz and Messier and Subban and like those guys on that big stage pointing out his mistakes, fine. But they're analyzing a player. Connor Bedard understands that. Connor Bedard is not a soft little weak-minded kid. He's not. He is ready and willing to be coached. The Hawks just have to find someone with the nads to say, hey, not good enough. And you know what? Like, you had a bad game. You turned the puck over too much. So I'm taking your ice time down a little bit tonight. There has to be consequences for him.
That's how you get to a kid like that.
Yes.
That all he wants to do is play hockey, skip a shift if you have to.
Right, and I don't think
not on the power play like Mark Messier said.
But he's clearly trying to do too much and clearly trying to make it all happen on his own.
And that's a product for never having anybody on his wings.
Yes.
Where you talk about, like, sorry to interrupt you,
no, you're
like
fine.
Seth Jones saying
it's conversation.
5 guys, weird. 5 guys on the ice knowing where to be. All it takes is one guy being out of place and it all goes to shit.
Yeah.
So when you're on a line with Colton Dock and Frank Nazar, 2 rookies, it's not going to take much for one of those guys to get out of position, and then it all breaks down.
Right.
And so get the kids some real coaching and some better teammates, and things will be fine.
We all silly like the mayor.